When EJ first saw her newborn baby, she felt nothing. It was strange. Every night, she lay awake, feeling the darkness close in. She would hear her baby cry, but her body stayed still, her heart unmoved. One night, her husband woke up to find her just staring at the baby, her face blank. She couldn't explain it. She couldn't explain why every small cry grated on her, why she felt more alone than she ever did. One evening, EJ's grandmother came to visit. This was a woman who has seen many strange things in her time, and she quickly saw what was happening. "You have met Ojuigo," she whispered, leaning in close. EJ's heart skipped a beat. She had heard that name before. Ojuigo, the spirit that comes to take the joy of new mothers. "There's a ritual," the grandmother said, "one that was passed down through our mothers." At midnight, with a small bowl of water, she began. "EJ, my child, listen. Ojuigo only lives when you fight her off. Each night, you have to wash away her touch. You have to breathe life into your heart again. No matter how hard it feels." She washed EJ's face with the water, singing softly, her voice mixing with the wind outside. EJ felt herself tremble, but she kept her eyes open, trying to push back the darkness that had wrapped around her heart. The nights grew easier. Slowly, EJ began to feel warmth again. When she looked at her child, she laughed softly. She felt a tug in her heart when he gripped her finger. The ritual continued, the water, the song, and each time she felt the spirit's grip loosen. By the time the next moon rose, Ojuigo was gone. EJ could finally hold her baby to her heart, beating strong and true. That wasn't all. When EJ woke up, the baby was gone. She had fallen asleep with the child in her arms, cradling him close. Now her arms were empty, and there was only silence in the hut. Panic shot through her. She stumbled out of bed, calling his name, "Nnamdi," her tiny son. Her heart pounded as her voice echoed off the mud walls. It had been weeks of restless nights, and EJ barely felt like herself anymore. She felt hollow, a little grunted. She had been having strange thoughts, dark feelings she couldn't explain, and a few nights she had heard whispers around the fire, but she blamed it on tiredness. "It's the spirit," some of the older women had said. "It's the burden of new mothers," they whispered, but EJ didn't tell them about the time she had felt a heavy hand on her shoulder, or how the shadows sometimes seemed to reach her. EJ searched the hut in desperation, but Nnamdi wasn't there. Her heart was racing, thoughts tangling and darkening with fear. She couldn't understand why she felt so afraid. It was as if something was watching her. Then she heard it, a faint, almost singing voice outside, like the lullaby she would sing to her baby every night. Trembling, EJ followed the voice. The moon cast strange shadows over the village, and she stumbled barefoot and unsteady towards the edge of the trees. Her mind was blurry and dreadful, yet the song pulled her forward. In the shadows beneath the largest tree, she saw a figure. It was a woman, someone she almost recognized. As EJ drew closer, she saw the woman looked like her, but older, and her eyes were clouded, almost gray, like the fog over the river at dawn. The figure held a baby, swaying as she sang the lullaby. EJ's voice shook as she called out, "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure lifted her gaze, and EJ saw her own face staring back, her stomach twisted with fear and confusion. The figure spoke, her voice a broken whisper. I am the mother who came before, the one who couldn't bear the weight of it. I am what you will become if you let the darkness take you. Ije took a step back, her pulse racing. She felt like she was on the edge of something vast and endless. The woman's voice grew softer. Your son needs you, your light. Do not let the shadows swallow you. The words shook her awake from the haze she had been in, and Ije realized she had really been seeing herself in the figure. She had seen the fears inside her, the sadness she had been holding. She looked around, the moonlight softening, and saw Nnamdi was safely in her arms. Again, if he had never been gone. Alas, it was a dream. In the morning, Ije told the woman what had happened. They nodded, understanding. They told her that every mother wrestles with shadows. They shared remedies and stories, things to ease her pain and make her feel whole again. Ije knew it would be hard, but she also knew she wasn't alone. And each night, when she held her son, she felt a little more of herself return. The whispers faded and the shadows left her. Ije had faced them down and won.